Can you hear yourself?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Beautiful. We're all good.
Ideal.
Right, Mr. Jake. Okay, let's get a drink and more. What would you like? I've got a spread of the things I have available. So you choose the different drinks. You've also got mine's over here.
Oh, these are different to my brother's. He's got like the small little.
Oh yeah. We got the big boy ones. You've got a nice little map there as well if you want it.
It's like a quality street.
Mate, I'll treat you right.
Let's go with the Stormio. Rich and strong.
Right, here's the fun part. You ready? So this just goes. And then that goes in the, just pop in the middle like that, other way around. That's it. So the hatch comes out the bottom.
Oh yeah.
Hatch goes underneath, and then you just do a little flick, and.
Any chance did you get this from the store across?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I came into work and they had this like offer on with these are all the usually it's like 180 quid for the machine. They had an offer saying you've got to spend you've got to buy 200 pods and you get the machine for free. So I was expecting it to be like 200 quid to make it worth for the company, but no, it's like £102.
Decent.
Yeah. So I've got a bag this big. This is going to be probably one of the noisiest ones for people who are just listening. So we're making a little coffee. We've got a nice little spread. Jake I haven't seen for a while, so I thought I'd treat him with a coffee. Sam, you sure you don't want to drink a coffee or anything?
No, I don't.
Alright, cool.
Cheers.
No worries. Let me know if you change your mind.
Well, we've got a 3-hour trip back later, so we'll be stopping at every toilet if we.
Yeah. Right. Just tell me if this thing is any more or any less scent. That's alright?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Because I put it up there and I'm like, oh, that's fine. And then I look back and I'm like, it's fucking wonky again.
It's even got that mark. So it's even got the.
Yeah.
Because I've been practicing with like cold brew. So I used to do cold brew where we make it, put it in, you put milk in.
Mm.
Now I do it so I layer ice cubes up.
Yeah.
And like marble it, so it like sort of gets that just to be a little bit like fancier.
Yeah. Mate, it's got to be done. Yeah, a couple of years ago, this would not have been me. This would have been too much. This would have been coffee's too much. With the mic, keep it about a fist from your face. So if you need to move it up, do you want further up? Yeah, we'll do that. So just lift it till you're comfortable. Turn it towards you. If you want.
Yeah.
As in, sorry, the whole arm towards you. If you want.
That should be fine.
You good?
Yeah.
We'll cut any of the crap out, which doesn't really matter. Right, now so that's your coffee.
Thank you very much.
Oh, awesome. Right, I'll have this one here. It's very, very DIY, as you can tell.
What's that, the setup or?
Everything.
Oh, that's all good, man.
To be fair, I've always wanted to do like a coffee one, but this is quite cool.
Yeah. Once you get real money, you can set up, buy like a proper studio, rent it, a little warehouse kind of thing.
Mate, I'd have like a coffee house like attached to it. That'd be quite cool. Or I want to say like a coffee house, like a Krispy Kreme kind of thing. That'd be quite cool.
You could do that and then have the studio like the soundproof window in between, so you're doing the podcast and everyone's sitting in the cafe at the same time.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
That would be cool. Or like a one-way glass, so that they could see what you're doing, but you couldn't, so you weren't distracted by them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a good move actually.
Yeah.
Or you get one. I like the ones that you could like activate, so you change it.
Oh, what? Two-way mirror?
Yeah, so you can choose if you want to be able to see through it or not, which would be quite cool.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to hurt someone with this, but it's a good little pop, whatever.
I can put it down on the floor.
I'll move it in a minute, maybe. I've got proper prepared for it, so I've moved all this out here. I chose a selection of all the different ones I got. Got them here. Got to fill this up. Then I've got 2 more massive bottles of water down here, just in case we have X amount of coffee, and also all of these
That's what you need an intern for.
drinks on here as well. That's right.
You need to get a free intern
We'll get there.
working at the uni.
Yeah.
Oh, man, sorry, I'm like so fucking hot today.
It is pretty warm. Let me just crack the window actually.
Yeah, cheers.
Hang on. It's alright, you and me both run at a similar temperature. Yeah. Hey, don't worry, mate. You can stay where you want. We'll just cut it out. Don't worry. Yeah, of course. Where is my bullshit then? It's alright. I'm going to try and do the pair thing, but that never works out well for me.
Thank you.
That's alright. Okay, right, so, get my coffee back. Here we are, we're all here. Right, Mr. Jake, cheers to you, sir.
Cheers.
Thanks for
Thank you
being
very
here.
much.
Much
That's all right.
appreciated.
Not, it's very rare these days, but
No.
yeah.
So how long has it been? I'm trying to think of like the passing of time. So you went to Falmouth Uni in 2014, right?
So I went. Was it the first time? Yeah. So 2014 was when I So I left you guys, went to uni. Well, actually, I went in 2013 for about a week. Then gave up, and came back for a year.
Yeah.
And then I went again in 2014. So yeah, it was kind of like back and forth in between for the last 3 years because we did Penrose in 2015.
15. Yeah. Yes. We stayed at your house.
Yeah. Because we went. Well, yeah, that was a. It was good. It was a. Memorable. That's the word I'm looking for.
It was at the time it was tragic, but looking back, it's just really funny.
Yeah.
Because it just got worse and worse, and then it got awesome, and then we went home.
Yeah. Well, I remember because you guys went to the pub, and I was like, well, I can go home. So I went home and went to sleep. Just let you guys have free reign of the house. So you didn't burn it down, so I appreciate that.
Well, it was alright because it was only you and what was your housemate's name at the time? Who was there with us?
Might have been Kirsty. I can't remember.
Maybe dark hair girl.
Honestly, can't remember.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like long ago, but like, I mean, when we try to remember stuff that we did at university, it's just like patches. As I say, like most of the stuff when you guys talk about that I did, I don't remember that I did it. So I need you guys to, back me up. And I just put together the fragments of what I've done over the past 10 years or so.
It's either because whenever we did stupid shit, we were almost definitely inebriated, or it's just, loads of different stuff has happened. So.
Yeah. So anyway, and then 2017 left here for a year, and then down in Exeter now for about a year and a half.
Feels like longer than that, but yeah, you're right. It does add up like that. To be fair, mate, I'm glad that you went back again because you were not happy when you came back.
Oh no,
not initially, but just what you ended up doing just for work that was not conducive to anyone's healthy mental state.
No. So I mean, everything worked out in the end. I think that's kind of how the mindset's been really since leaving. Was like you might as well, if it doesn't feel right, don't do it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like and the universe will kind of sort itself out. Like.
So for the people listening, we will not say any companies' names or people's names or anything, just so to be on the safe side. But you're working for what was it? What would you call it? Betting shop? Gambling shop?
Yeah, betting shop. Yeah,
betting shop,
essentially as it is. So.
Yeah, I remember some of the stories you were telling me. I was like, fucking hell.
Yeah, it wasn't like. It was more, you had a colourful cast of people that used to come in. You had a lot of regulars and you had a lot of other people who were just sort of...
Happy to up to a beer if you want, by the way.
I will. I might be asleep though. I've got to navigate tabs back out to Spencer's Wood.
Coffee, beer, same thing, man.
I could mix the two together.
Yeah, man. Pour it in the same drink. Sorry, man, interrupted you.
So yeah, like... But I mean, that was only 6 months. That was like, you get back from university, you got debts to pay. So, like, the job was there waiting for me. So I thought, I'll just do that for 6 months and then, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
It was easier because obviously, like, we were still doing training and stuff. So, like, it was easy to go straight from there up to yours. But it was more just staying until 10 o'clock at night. It was staying at 10, like, doing 13-hour shifts, half that by yourself because you only had, like, one member of staff on at a time. And then dealing with all the crap from customers, like, you coming in to lose your money. So why the hell are you giving, like, the shit for it? And then the pay, like, it was an assistant managing role, so it's like, well, it's not worth doing for what the pay is, and not just the whole. I was never like one of those people that come out of university and be like, yeah, now give me like the best job in the world, but like I'm always one of those people that whatever job you do, the pay needs to reflect like the stress you go through. I don't mind a stressful job as long as you get like paid the right for it.
Yeah, makes sense.
But yeah, then it was I just went back to kind of what I knew and did that for 9 months, and then we were umming and ahhing about what we were going to do because we were going to move to Bristol, but it's expensive to move to Bristol, and like it was like
more than little.
Yeah, well, it was kind of like, do we move somewhere that's free and like we have all the space, or do we move to Bristol where we've got like a little closet room and we have to pay what £700 to £1,000 a month on rent. So in the long run, everything's worked out. Not just that, it's like DIY, we get full reign over the DIY stuff we do. We can have our cat. So, that's been like a massive focal point of the year is kind of having her. definitely a lot easier than having a child. I'd definitely say that.
Yeah, I wish we could comment. Wish I knew either way. Well, not either way. Obviously, I don't have a kid, so that makes it easier for me. Makes it easier for me to work it out. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
How
You
you
good? Good. Lovely.
But yeah, like I mean, the only downside is, cats are our masters. They control every facet of our lives. I have to be up at 7 a.m. in the morning to feed her, otherwise she will be a little shit.
Well, the Egyptians had worship cats for a reason, because they didn't have a choice.
Exactly, yeah. If you didn't, they scratch. That's the thing. If you don't, they scratch your stuff. They jump on your stuff. And that's the thing. Like, the only downside is that cats can jump really high. Children can't jump really high. They can only crawl really fast.
Yeah, or they can jump kind of high, and then it ends really badly for them. So
Yeah. So there's also the pig as well, but yeah, it's been a different experience as well. Like you move from Reading to a farm, and it's like two completely different worlds. Like, downside is like until I get my driver's license sorted out, I don't have like free reign to like leave on and off. Whereas like being in Reading, you just like it's a 10-minute trip into Reading. It was like a 25-minute trip to yours or whatever. So that's the only downside. But other than that, it's like I haven't got cars, I haven't got people to deal with, and like I say, we've got all the space to kind of do what we want. So if we want to have like a sumo suit contest, we just get a mat, we get sumo suits, we've got the garden where we can pop your uncle.
That is way too specific to be something you haven't already done.
We haven't actually done that.
What?
No, we had sumo suits at university, but then they kind of got a bit crappy towards the end of it, so we have yet to buy new ones.
So by crappy you mean just excessively worn out?
Well, there's the battery packs. The battery packs all like, when like batteries go funny and the corrosive stuff comes out.
Yeah.
So they did that. But yeah, we do camping. We've got camping down there and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
The only downside is when it's the winter, it's like audaciously cold. And if we get snowed in, you're a bit stuffed.
Yeah. Have you been snowed in?
Yeah, we got snowed in. When was it? It's not last February, but the February before that. That would be my first winter there. And yeah, the snow came down pretty hard. But it's weird because we had snow where we were, but if you went 10 minutes down the road, there was no snow.
Okay.
Yeah, because of like how we are, like the topography wise, in terms of above sea level, we get really different weather where we are to like how they sometimes get it down the road.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were snowed in, and then I used to talk about it with people when I got the bus to work when I was at Virgin.
Yeah.
Should be naming names. When I worked at that place, and
sorry, I'll just cut it out if you want.
Yeah. just bleep it.
Yeah, it's fine. We're working it. Yeah, that'd be quite fun actually.
Yeah, I always find it funny though, because like when you listen to like shows and they bleep it, it always sounds like they are just saying I used to work at like fuck.
Yeah, literally, yeah. Well, to be fair, depending on the industry that they're in, I'm sure there are some very choice names.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But yeah. So yeah, I talked to them and they go, "Oh yeah, it's been ages since we got snowed in. Like the last snow storm was maybe a couple of years ago. So did you not get snowed in like last February?" They go, "No." It's like it was a bit of snow, but it wasn't much. I'm like, we had like that much snow.
Well, that's by their standards. They're talking.
Well, yeah, not even that. Just like they had a bit of snow, but it wasn't like mad. I mean, it's right for us. It was cozy.
Yeah,
we did sleep. We've got some hills, so we can have personal sledding competitions, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's cool.
And we've got big cars, so we can get out if we need to. It's just the littler cars are not going to cut it.
No, indeed not. So did you actually have to like? I'm trying to think because like the height of snow up here is like not even a foot, and people will lose their shit.
I would probably say it's about maybe 1.5 feet.
Okay.
Like 2 feet. It's not that it's bad. It's just that because they're country roads, they don't get what was it? I can't think of the word now. Gritters, that's it. Yeah. So they don't get. So we have grit containers, but it has to be done by locals. The council don't do it anymore. So it's more the fact that the roads aren't treated. And again, because of how high the snow comes up, if you've got like a hatchback car or any sort of like low vehicle, it's all gonna like jam up in the front. You can't go anywhere. Which is not a problem because most people have like some sort of 4x4 or a tractor or maybe a snowmobile if you're rich enough.
That would be cool.
But yeah, it's more just a case of like you're on your own kind of thing, like every man for himself sort of scenario. It's never going to change. It's just because Dartmoor's Dartmoor. Like they can't build the infrastructure in because it's protection of the what they call it, conservation of.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say. Conservation of like landscape of immaculate beauty kind of thing. So they're never going to build it in for that kind of thing. But
the good green areas you can't do anything on.
Yeah, but I don't mind. Have a nice little fire. Have some hot chocolate. You're all sorted. So
that sounds pretty cool. I think it's fine for something like that if you've got everything that you already need, or you've got the, as you say, you've got the big car, so you can go get the shit you need. But like anything, snowed in, iced in, powers out, whatever. There's only a problem if you can't go and get your stuff. If you're just stuck there and you can't get out, and it's like.
Yeah, or easier to just get the pig and just sit her on a one-way track, and she just like clears it, put a little like shut.
Oh mate, you could put a cat like a plough on the front of her, and she just.
She'd do it. It's just it just would part.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's a good move.
But yeah, other than that, it's got its quirks. I'm looking forward to once I got the car sorted out and my driver's license all sorted out, because you get that extra layer, so you get the best of both worlds then. But until then, it's just wait and see.
Yeah. Well, what's happening with your driving then? What sort of time, have you got a time scale you're working to?
At the moment, it's just, I'm fairly competent on the driving. It's just waiting for the test to open up, because obviously they had the backlog. When COVID hit, they had to stop X amount of lessons. So now I think they're catching up on that. And then my instructor's going to book me in like as and when first opportunity. Just obviously if I don't pass first time, it'll be a bit of a wait for the second go. But yeah,
I'm sure it'll be fine, mate. As long as if you're just getting your practice going round and round, you'll be fine.
Yeah, you passed.
I know. Hey, you leave it out, mate. That blue little machine got us all over the place.
Yeah, little Tupperware box.
Yeah, what other names do we have for it? I think one of them was a blue dildo. That was a good one. The 4-wheel motorbike. That was a good one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matchbox. Yeah.
It could have been nice. I mean, actually, I got. Hang on.
Great.
We were in the shop the other day, and I think I took a photo of it. Give me a second. There we go. Yeah, have your car on sale.
Oh, for God's sake! Is that a Daewoo Toolbox?
Daewoo Toolbox, yeah.
Do you know they make guns as well? Well, they certainly did. They made like handguns.
Daewoo?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's South Korean, so they're like this big. So they're like tiny little pocket guns.
I thought they'd been like this little Derringer kind of, the little.
Yeah. No, but they're it's like a M9, but it's like this big. So it's not like a Colt ankle one.
Yeah.
But it'd be like a back holster little personal sidearm. It's weird, but it's one of those companies like Toshiba or Yamaha just makes loads of random shit.
Yeah, like how you get like accessories in the boot. Like you get like an umbrella or you get a jacket. They just put a 9mm in the back of your car for you.
Yeah, it's all part of the fashion. Yeah, everyone's rocking it. What would you do if we started having like open carry here, or like concealed carry permits?
Guess I'd be a bit more on edge about people than I already am. Like, I've always been one of those people that's I don't know, because we used to walk through Reading like there's no like at 2 a.m. in the morning and you wouldn't give a care in the world. Like, there was never a problem. I think in the 8 or so years of heavy drinking we did, I don't think I ever. The most I got was an egg to the chest.
I think a stone for me is the worst I got.
Yeah, so those two things, like that's probably the worst you get.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's like now. I walk through Reading like after 9 ages, but I guess
it's
there was like
the same. No difference really.
Open carry might be a bit more like.
Yeah, I mean you've got obviously like the weird anomalies like the stabbing a few months ago, and then the policeman who died because he was pulled along by a quad bike last year.
I didn't hear about that one.
Yeah, so it was. I'm trying to think where I was. It was somewhere in town, and these like people were just like driving up and down, making loads of noise at stupid time in the morning, and the guy trying to stop them, and somehow he got caught on the back of the motorbike quad bike, and it just dragged him for like 2 miles.
Oh shit!
Yeah, not good. But yeah, beyond that, yeah.
But
those are the anomalies. You're right. Those are the anomalies because it's only. Yeah, a few things that happen.
As I mean, normally in like England, it's a case of like wrong place, wrong time. But I've always been pretty cautious when we got to London. you know. But like I say, Reading's not really ever been a big problem. Exeter less so. I like Exeter because it's pretty chill. You got a few like winos and all that hanging around. Usually by where I do start my driving. So like just outside, there's like loads of guys always drinking or whatever. Yeah. Apart from walking into the road, you don't really get an issue.
Well, how far are you guys from Exeter itself, like the town centre?
About 20 minutes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's a fairly straight route in and out. You just go down the Valley Road. And then it's about 20 minutes out to Newton Abbot, which is the other town.
Yeah, because I've got family in Bobby Tracy.
You got family? That's just down there. That's where the taps works.
Okay, so it's my uncle's mum.
Okay, yeah.
So she's over there. So I used to go on holiday there every February. So I did that since I was like 4, and then because we were a big family, so there's like 16, 17 of us, and we all got bigger each year. Yeah. So we had to find bigger and bigger houses to look after. Not all of them were stuck in Devon, so we've been to like Suffolk, Ipswich, loads of places, Derby. So
like I said, if you want to visit them, just stop off at ours.
Well, the plan is to do February, but yeah, obviously we'll see what's going on in.
Just what happens with COVID and all that.
Yeah, those are factors. So it'd be work, the Airbnbs, the travelling, the weather. Really.
Yeah, we had a hell of a time because we're going down to Penzance in 2 weeks' time because we were trying to book for this weekend to go away. Yeah. Obviously, we would be in a wedding and all that. But everywhere was booked. Like, well, we're not even going to the weekend. We're going on a weekday because you could actually get a booking on a weekday. But as far as I know, everywhere down Devon and Cornwall way is booked up for the next like 2 months or so.
Oh, fair play.
Yeah, camping sites, glamping sites.
That's cool though. That's good. It's cool, actually getting it done.
Yeah, it's good for like, you know, down the economy that way and all that. Yeah. It's just if you want to go away, you just have to like make sure you book in advance.
What happened with your camping plans that you were doing?
Just too much to do at the moment.
Fair enough.
You know, it's just one of those things where like we want to get it done, but there's a lot to do in terms of preparation. And there's only a few of us. You know, there's not. You know, we don't have like anyone else. Yeah. And we've got other things to do on top of that. You know, with jobs and just getting stuff out of the way and driving and etc. etc. Plus, there's also like the planning permits on top of that. So I think if we were to do it, like we can legally do it for like 28 days in a year without having any planning permission. Okay. So I think once everything else is sorted out, we would possibly be able to do something like that. Yeah. But I think for the time, you know, it's just get other stuff sorted out. We've still got stuff to like build and get out the way, and we've still got to do the wedding as well. I think once the wedding's out of the way, you know, we'll have the time to think about it. But yeah, mate, your heart is going to stop. Mate,
I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's just because I'm really bloody hot, but I just need something going on. So I've got coffee, beer, energy drink, water. So you do it. I mean, you probably shouldn't, but that's how I'm going to do it.
Tabs, have 999 on standby.
Just sipping from each of them. Yeah, no,
it's just, I just feel like because the beer's depressing, you're just going to be
like... it's a good look. You should do that again.
I can't wait to see that played back on the...
Yeah, you look like you're having a problem.
Really got on a good side.
I just need a little bit of sugar, just a little bit. Because I don't like sugar in my coffee. I just have it black. Yeah. I like my coffee like I like my lead singers. Get a glass.
Jesus.
One of these days I'm going to say that's the wrong person, they're going to be like, that's just not fun.
Yeah, it's just wrong.
Yeah. They're either going to be really upset or I'm going to get a punch in the face.
Or they agree with you, they go, oh, yeah, that's not it.
Or they go, yeah, it's alright.
I was still trying to detox off that KFC, so like, the last few days I was like, I'm going to eat healthy again, but the last 2 years have been pretty rubbish.
Mate, the beers from Monday, I don't know what was going on. Like, my stomach was just not in a good place.
I was going to say, you need 2 beers.
I know. Well, again, I don't drink. I barely drink.
Yeah, like, we don't drink that much. And to be fair, I didn't get any sleep that morning. Like, once I wake up after drinking, that's it. I can't sleep anymore.
What time do you wake up?
About 5 o'clock. So I had about 4 hours sleep.
Yeah. I know, mine. I got home, obviously when you dropped me off it was about 11. I didn't sleep till 1:45. Yeah. That sort of thing. Yeah. Got up at 7, so
I don't drink anymore much.
I mean, like, we just it seems like we're boring, but it's just like just don't need to do it. Like we've done all the drinking.
Well, it's the amount of money you save as well.
Oh,
like my brother doesn't go out
mental.
drinking, and like he's got, like he pulled out a pair of like Air Jordans the other day. I was like, when did you get those? He go, I got them in the sale. I'm like, they're still expensive. He's like, yeah, but you think about how much money I save. Like I don't go out. He doesn't go out for takeaways. The only time he goes out is when his girlfriend's out from Germany.
Bloody hell.
So
long distance, Jesus.
Just a little bit.
Jesus.
But I mean,
Christ.
so yeah, for like every 3-month intervals of the year, he saves X amount of money that he doesn't spend on drinking. Same when I was at uni, I spent like £60 just on a night out, and that was like every single week. And like all the money that I saved in that year I took off just was gone by the time I got to the end of first year.
Yeah.
And in hindsight, like I wish I had that money now, but you know, I mean, I enjoyed it at the time. But again, you don't. But that's the other thing. Like when you drink, you don't remember what you've done.
It depends what level you get into. So when you're saying when you drink, I'm assuming you're meaning like a blacked out kind of shit.
Like a blacked out, yeah. But
Yeah,
you get to that point where you're like, you're at that like point of euphoria where you want to buy more drinks. You're like, this is what you want to keep that euphoria going. But then you get to a point where you just
you end up chasing the dragon after a while.
Well, yeah. I mean, like it's like when like security used to do those £1 Jaeger bomb nights. That was a dangerous night because you get to 10, you're like, that's when you're at the peak. But then peak Q is just going to be like, we need to buy more.
Yeah.
We need to keep going.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever like. I mean, I think some people stop at that point and they just sort of keep it. They just sort of keep that like nice lull going. But I think the majority of people just sort of tip it over.
It's a wise man once said to me that it's reaching and maintaining being tipsy is the goal for drinking.
Yeah.
And I was like, because it's like being merry. It's the right balance where you've got that little bit of waveness going on, but you're in a good mood, and you're it's not going to be too bad the next day, kind of thing. But it is tricky because from a boring medical toxic level, you've got to maintain the alcohol content's going to go up to a certain point, and then it's naturally going to drop.
Yeah.
It's going to peak and drop. So it's just catching it after the peak and just maintaining that. So it is hard because you don't know what time's you're going to do it. So.
You're not exactly an Einstein when you're like pissed off for like 10 beers.
Yeah.
Not just that you get tired as well. Like for me these days, I get tired. So usually like by the time I get to maybe 11 o'clock, I'm knackered and I just want to go home. Like whereas before you had the energy to like run through it.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you drink enough, you bypass that. But normally, like, and these days, like even beers, I don't really get drunk off them anymore. Like, I can have about 4 or 5 beers and nothing really happens. Whereas I think before you used to have like 3 beers and then like that's your intro, and then you'd go somewhere else, and then you'd have more after that. But you'd have those initial 3 beers so you're ready for the rest of the night out.
Yeah.
Whereas now, I mean, even one, like I have 1 beer and that's it. I just want to
I just want to go to bed.
go to bed.
Yeah.
You know, have a cider or something and.
I can't believe Mr. P who just slammed 7 on Monday.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive to be fair.
On a Monday.
We drove past a French one. I said to Tab that that's
yeah, that's what it is. So, for those who don't know, I had a party a few weeks ago, and one of my guys he left about midnight. And instead of getting a lift all the way home where that person was going anyway, he asked to be dropped off in like this country road, but like before going through the country road. So he had to like in the middle of the night walk down this pitch black road where there's no fucking pavement. And he was like, yeah, that's a good move. So,
that's been pretty funny though if you come in the other way.
Yeah, we'll just see this dude just stumbling down the road.
It's good to know at least some of the old guard are keeping up in their old ways.
Yeah, well, it's we always had a few of us who just did the stupid walking distances for no reason when we were drunk. Because also you had him, another friend of ours as well, who made sure he'd walk everyone home. So by the time he got home, maybe like 3 or 4 in the morning.
Why don't you just go the other way?
Why just go home?
It was nice. You did feel protected. You felt safe.
Oh yeah. It was a lovely gesture. But you're there like, do you not like sleep or something?
Yeah. I don't know if did you go through the Uber phase when Uber was like operating in Reading? Because I was like getting Ubers everywhere at one point, like just the train station.
Me personally, I never touched it, but I've done it as like a group, but by myself.
It's too easy. Because I remember we were at Hope that one evening, and I was like, I don't want to be out any longer, and I was home in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
But then like, there was one time I had a bad experience with an Uber driver, and I was just like he was just parked somewhere, and he kept saying, "I'm here." I'm like, "You're not here."
Yeah.
And he kept getting the south side and north side of Reading Station mixed up.
Mm-hmm.
So we said he was going to be in one place, and I was like, I'm here. And he's like, no, you're meant to be me here. And I'm like, yes, I am here. He was like, and then eventually he was like, do you want to cancel? And I was like, yeah. And then he gave me like a free start, and I was like, what the fuck, I wasn't even like, doing anything wrong. So then, like, you know, you delete the app and you like, that's it, I'm never going to deal with that again.
Yeah, that's a messed up part of it as well, is that your star rating on Uber is messed up.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, it wasn't even my fault. Like,
well, the fact they even have that as an option is weird.
Yeah,
it's real weird. I kind of get it as an idea, like, so you can obviously rate the experience, but I mean, what does it do? Like, for anyone who's got like a higher rating, does that mean they get preferential treatment if they're a driver?
Well, because the driver can choose to pick you up or not. So if you've got like a 1 star, so if you like throw up in the back of like 5 Ubers and they give you like a 1 star rating, and you've got like 2.5 star, they can reject it, so they can pick and choose.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So they're not forced to pick up every single fare.
Yeah.
The whole point is that you can operate how you want. So you can, if you know, you'd be like, well, this person's got 4 stars, so they're probably not going to have any problems, and they might give you a tip, so I'll pick them up. But you could also have like someone that's 4 star and someone that's 5 star, and so well, I'll get the 5 star because they're probably definitely giving you a tip.
Or they'll just be nice in the car.
Yeah, or they show up on, you know, it's a case of show. So usually the criteria is showing up on time, not being a dick, not throwing up in the car. Tips as well normally factor in as well.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's before or after service.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it also gives you like maybe access to the better ones because you've got like the next one's up.
Yeah, because you got obviously the company, then you got like Uber Pool and Uber like Select or Plus or something.
Yeah, it's like Uber X or something.
Uber
like
X,
that.
yeah.
That doesn't matter anymore because I think Uber's been banned from Reading. So this whole like.
I know. Well, that was the thing. Like when they first came out, I remember reading about how the black cab drivers were all up in arms because like, they're going to put us out of business, they're undercutting us, and people were like, well, it's just it's the nature of the market's moving on. But then it came out that the company was the CEO had loads of litigation against him, and B, the company's business model was specifically structured to undercut. It's like Tesco did for years, where they did everything deliberately lower to get rid of loads of little like standalone companies or reduce the size of competition, and then they slowly put the prices up.
Yeah.
So it's like, I can't remember what it's called, the term for that. But yeah, I remember Uber. Is Uber still allowed in the UK, or is it just Reading is banned?
I don't even know anymore. I usually see it like in an article every now and again, but it's never normally good.
Well, why was it banned in why was it banned here?
I think a lot of it's to do with the licensing. So like, just because they usually like a situation like something bad happens with a customer in the taxi, Uber never handled it really well. So they usually always like denied it or blamed someone else. And obviously, if you've got like independent drivers like that, as a licensing commission, you need to like, I guess you got that responsibility to your customers, making sure that like if there's a service available, it's a safe service.
What's that?
There you go.
Oh, these mics are much more sensitive than I thought they'd be. Right.
There's something on the stove.
Well, I was just going to say, I'm just shutting the kitchen door. Not the ideal setup. We can do it.
Need some intermission music.
You got that one there if you want as well. Either way.
This podcast is sponsored by.
Sorry.
No,
I've actually gotten quite good at editing stuff out. I did one with the boys on. So it was Shaq, Josh, and Andy. Have you met Andy?
Is he your bassist?
Yeah.
No, I've heard of him. I don't know met him.
Oh,
actually,
cool.
no.
Maybe
Was he
once.
when you was he there when you went to Finsbury Park?
Yes. Yeah.
Probably did meet him. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that was fun. And so that was 2.5 hours, and I had to cut it down to an hour.
Fair.
And as in, like, it wasn't. I didn't want to, but I had to. I couldn't let that go on the internet.
Oh, was that when you were talking about?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Did it get dark?
Some of it did, yeah. I mean, it was funny, but if people don't find it funny, it's pretty bad. But we'd find you. I'll show it to you somewhere. It's very funny.
Yeah, you can always just release like an uncut version, like.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, the cut one will be fine. That's not a problem. But it's just like, you know.
Mad to the Harp, uncut.
No, I'm not going to do it. Well, this is I know it's 35 minutes in already,
and we've already touched like 6 different subjects.
That's how you do it, man. Well, this is a late introduction. You're listening to Harping on episode 18 with Jake Matthias.
Hello.
How you doing, man? You all good?
Yeah, we're good. Yeah.
Oh no, I did it wrong.
Are you gonna like cut this now in front of?
Oh, what? No, I don't care. I'll leave it as is. It's a joke. No, I'm fucking around. I make it sound like I'm Jake Matthias. Let's try again. So you're listening to Harping on episode 18 with me, Matt Delaharp, and my guest today is Jake Matthias. How you doing, man?
Hello. I'm good, thank you.
To this point, I don't know. I'm kind of torn on how to do it as a format because it makes sense to do, you know, start off with you're listening to blah 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 right at the beginning, but most of the ones that I've done we're already talking about something, and then I'm like, oh shit, I've got to press play and record or whatever, so I don't even think about to do it because we're already in the conversation. So that's like that.
It's kind of easier as well. I think, like, I guess when you get people on, it's just ease them into it because it's kind of weird. Like, I think when you first asked me to do the podcast, I was a bit like apprehensive. Like, would I do this on a normal basis anyway? Like, I think most people they hate the sound of their own voice.
Yeah.
But then I think also because I listen to a lot of podcasts, it seemed like a really exciting thing to do.
Yeah.
I think loads of people. I think podcasts have definitely like gone from one of those things that used to be like a novelty to now everyone you know either has their own podcast or listens to a podcast.
Yeah.
Just because it passes the time so much quicker. B, you learn something you didn't know before.
Like about Uber, you're welcome.
Exactly. See, like I said, you know, it's a way, like I guess, of getting everyone connected now that COVID's kind of disconnected everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that Boris is doing another announcement tonight that's going to flip everything up again. And,
doing an announcement tonight?
Yeah, 4 o'clock, I think.
Fuck.
Yeah, because they're banning more than 6 people.
I saw that yesterday. Shit.
But I realised when we were out on Monday, the way that everyone was rotating, we never had more than 6 people.
I know, it was good.
Perfect.
I didn't even plan that. It was good though. Yeah, because they got like we all sat down and I ended up putting the tables together, and I was like, "Shit, I've invited too many people, haven't I?" But no, it worked out fine.
It worked out fine because everyone was coming and going. You know.
Yeah. That's
the other thing as well. Like, it was nicer to just roll on like that rather than like, you know, everyone. You know, it doesn't mean you don't need to. It's just nice to catch up with people, and the problem is if you get like absolutely wasted, then. Yeah,
or if you've got too many people, it's like I can't talk to everyone.
No, exactly. Especially when you're shouting across like tables at people and like, especially when that amount of time passes, you've got so much that's happened in the space of time. Yeah, you're trying to like it just starts pouring out, and then eventually you're like, what the hell were we talking about in the first place?
Well, this is a jog my memory. So, just for the audience, I've got Jake right across from over here. I've got Tabs, his girlfriend, is playing with a new iPad that she just bought in the background. So I'm gonna, if you might hear a voice just piping up now and again. But I'm saying that because I have another story I forgot to tell you, and I was reminded of today. So we were regaling Tabs with stories about a friend of ours that she hasn't met yet. A friend of mine and Jake's that she hasn't met yet. And my mum reminded me of another one this morning. So this friend of ours, because my sister's going to uni, when my friend went to uni, he was like, great. So I got into my hall, you know what I should do? I'm going to wash all my clothes, make sure they're nice and clean, wash them all. He hadn't worn any of them, he'd got there the first day. but he washed them, went cool, took them out, and then what do you do when you get nice, fresh, wet clothes? You hang them up. What does he do? Chucks them in the corner of his room in a pile for 2 weeks. So they had to move his room because it grew fungus.
I've got a really good guess as to who that could be.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you'd know, but we're just going to protect his identity because the police are after him. No.
What's the best way? Do they cross between dimensions?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, dimensional hoppers. But so I was very glad that Mum reminded me of that story, so that was fucking excellent. I forgot you did that. The same man who eats soup with a fork.
12 dozen eggs a day.
Yeah. Well, he, to be fair, he's got the heritage. He is the Gaston of the group.
I was going to say call him Gaston.
Yeah. Gaston's a good name for it.
It'd be like Crime Watch. It's like, no, to protect the identity, it's Gaston.
Yeah. They've got an identity kit of someone just drawn Gaston from the film.
And then they've like made the voice go really like deep.
Yeah, but everything he says is in song. Oh man,
that's funny. Yeah.
You know, I couldn't believe I'd forgotten that story. The problem is, there's so many of them where there's things that we all do where we all just say something stupid or whatever. But for some of our friends, there's just so many you can't remember them all because there's so many. Just like you're just like, what?
Or they do the same thing. You're like, remember that time you did that before?
Oh yeah, they do it twice.
They do it kind of like repeats.
But again, just for clarity for the audience, there's very endearing traits. Like it's just so adorable and just reinforces the love that you have for these people. That's it. We're not taking the piss. We're just laughing because it is objectively funny.
And everyone's done it.
Yeah, we all done something.
Everyone's got
stupid.
something. Everyone's done.
Yeah.
I think we've all got some sort of story or semi-story where we've done.
Yeah.
And that's what you remember. You know, that's personality. If everyone did nothing, we'd have been bored of each other, and
no one would have friends because you'd be like, "What is the point? I'll just talk to myself."
Yeah, I'm waiting for the stories after the various weddings that happen over the next, I don't know, I'm guessing 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, because we're getting at that point. It's funny with you, mate, because most of the time I forget that you're chronologically older than me. Because sometimes, I just hung out with you for years now, so I don't see like a difference. It's like that and Alex. I don't see a difference, even though he's younger. So
yeah, it's always weird because obviously we were at the same primary school, so it's like
secondary school. Oh, well, hang on, you and Alex or you and me?
Yeah, Alex.
Oh, okay, got you. Yeah.
So it is weird when you got those, but yeah, as you get older, it doesn't really matter anymore. Like,
man. Yeah, well, I guess. Excuse me. Not mixing. So
if you start vomiting blood, then yeah, we've got a problem.
Yeah, real problem. Yeah, I think it's because it's a difference. A difference is certainly magnified or even like spoken about when you're that age because obviously you're growing. So each year there's a huge difference in just like height.
Yeah.
And like your voice and everything. So that makes sense. But like once you get over 20. Does 20, 21, 21, 22 makes a difference.
Well, it's funny because when we were going past the Tesco Express in Caversham, I was telling Tass about the time when we were all out and I had to buy the alcohol for everyone. That was the problem with being older than you guys. I remember I bought like 2 crates of beer and like a bottle of vodka, and the like cashier just looked at me like, "Yeah, there's people outside, aren't there?" And I was, the eye contact was definitely saying, "I'm guilty of something," and they were just like, "I don't care."
Yeah.
And then you guys literally just ran the corner, and then we all went to the Sandy Park.
Yeah.
So to be fair, you probably should admit that because the police could probably come out.
It's alright, mate. I'm just gonna have a field day with the bleep button. It's fine. It'll just be me making the sound effects. Just dump it over the top.
It's just like an hour of flatline.
Yeah. You're just giving out like home addresses and bank passwords and stuff. Yeah.
So, any interest? My bank account is.
Don't make me do that one.
That's right. You beep it out.
Oh God. It's a good thing I've got lead time on this. It'll be a couple of weeks so I can get it done.
Oh, you got editing for like.
So I've got one who's that's just come out today, and then I've got one every week for the next. So that was number 12. Yes, I've got 5 weeks.
Oh, decent. Yeah.
Which is cool. I'm a bit stuck on one of them. To the one for next week, which is I've got to do it with 2. Because the person I did it with, they couldn't get here and they didn't have any mics or anything. So I couldn't get like the audio sent separately because then I could master it. But I've got they just had to FaceTime on their laptop and then record themselves on their phone and then send me the recording of the phone. I had to put them together.
Oh, bloody hell.
But I've forgotten that when you do that, is that you've got the sound coming at least twice, maybe 4 times because it's coming from both phones and both laptops. So yeah, 4 items of sound. So it's just like it's all layered. So my gut is telling me that I can't. I'll have to maybe scrap it because it just doesn't. It's just too much of a nightmare. But I'm gonna see if I can get the files next to each other so you can get the screens together.
Just put auto-tune on the top of it. Make a nice little.
Or make a little ditty out of it.
Make a little ditty, yeah. 5-minute auto-tune. Stick on Instagram on repeat.
Yeah, Kanye West, eat your heart out, mate. Oh no, sorry. I wonder who uses it more, him or T-Pain? Do you reckon?
Definitely Kanye.
Yeah.
I mean, eventually get to the point where you've got one of those soundboards. Yeah. So you can just just flushing sounds, or air horn sounds.
Oh man, what's that called? It's a it's gonna bug me. I should know what it is because there's one of the ones I listened to on his website. He has a list of all the equipment he's got. So I was looking at it just out of curiosity, and it's like $7,000, and I'm like, okay.
down the line.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh mate, it's in my head I've got the word oscillator, but that's a sampling pad. So something else. But yeah, it's the same sort of pad that you can get, which has all the camera switches and the different sounds you can have on it as well.
Yeah, same kind of thing, you know, like Twitch streamers use. Like they've got like there's a mini version. It's like a tablet, but every single individual button is sectioned off. So you can just program it to, send an emoji, or you got subscriber buttons or that kind of thing.
There are some good ones. So you've got like the high end ones, which is like 3.5K, and then you've got like the open one, which is about 600 quid. But again, if you need, I've only got one camera in a minute, so I don't really need it.
Just that, the more tech you get, the more you need to eventually you get to the point where you have to manage that tech. You've got to get someone to manage it for you, or it's got to be streamed. You've got to make sure it's streamlined. Like,
I mean, with this format here, so it's just the video, 2 audios. I can get this done in a day. I can make it a finished product.
Oh, decent.
Which is good. Because to begin with, I was doing it all on my HP, which is over there, and it was just my old Android, my Galaxy S10, and it just took me 2 days just to upload one video, and I'm like, this shouldn't take that long.
No, definitely shouldn't take that long.
Shouldn't take that long. So I had to take the dive and actually get like a MacBook and switch back to my iPhone and stuff. So
invest in tech. Just don't go shopping with me, because I always end up with an iPad.
Huh?
Just don't shopping with me, because you end up with an iPad.
Why? Were you the ones just in to buy it?
Well, I was thinking about it, and then
and you were like, "Well, get it then."
Well, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, pretty much that. Yeah.
For someone who doesn't, do you have any Apple products?
No.
Why are you saying it? All right. Okay.
Well, no, I got an iPad. I got an iPad a couple of years ago. It's not so much. No, it's not so much like. It's just technology in general. I'm one of those people that you see a product, you're like, I need that.
Yeah.
You don't need it, but you do need it.
I guess it depends what you're using it for. Well, I don't know.
Well,
equally, who am I to say what people should or shouldn't buy?
Yeah, exactly. Like, like I say, it's also projects as well. When you've got projects going, you can either use the equipment you've got, or make the investment and upgrade a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I needed to for this, because otherwise this just wasn't going to work. So
yeah, exactly.
And as the files got bigger and bigger and longer, I just needed the ability to do it. Because I've done one which was the one that came out today. Actually, is 2 hours and 58 minutes. So it's like overall storage. That's what iCloud's awesome, because I just bring them both home, put them both on Wi-Fi, walk away, and they transfer to each other. So I'm like, great, easy.
Decent, yeah. That's what you need, really.
Yeah, which makes it a lot simpler.
Yeah.
But I'm debating what to do, because I've got the iPhone 8. I know you care. I've got the iPhone 8 there. I'm debating whether to get the 11 Pro or wait for the rumours of the next one coming out next month.
Depends really. The problem is mobile technology is slowing down.
What do you mean?
Well, you went through this like I would say maybe from the iPhone 5 maybe between the iPhone 10, you had this massive expansion of like mobile tech. So with each iteration, there was a massive difference in the technology that was available in the new set. Whereas it's starting to slow down because the manufacturing process is getting cheaper. With like contracts that are outsourced, it's cheaper to make the phones. Additionally, technology is kind of starting to get to a bottleneck. So whilst it's great to have like cloud technology and all that, the problem is that the data transfer bottlenecks with internet speeds means that we're still you can have like 1 gig internet, so gigabyte internet speeds now, but we don't have the technology to actually use it. So in a way, it's kind of like, so say for example, you've got so the company I used to work for, they offered a gigabit connection. And that started off in, where did it start? London or Southampton? I think it's Southampton. But the thing is, like most like Wi-Fi dongles, Wi-Fi network cards, that kind of thing, are limited to how much they can actually process data-wise. So there's a bottleneck there. So there's no point buying it unless you've got the need for it. It's the same with like mobile tech, is that it's like when the iPhone 11 came out. When I was working for said company, people used to come in and be like, I want the iPhone 11. They'd be like, why not get the iPhone 10? And they'd be like, well, because I want the newer one. But it's like, yeah, but you get all the same stuff in the iPhone 10. there wasn't much of an upgrade. The next upgrade was the iPhone 11 Pro because of and that was mainly just due to the cameras and the chips.
Yeah.
And I think once the next iPhones come out, you'll see even less of a jump. It seems to be more that technology is kind of breaking stuff down more, so like gives you like individual control over like your widgets, your apps, and also tracking as well. It seems like when you buy like new phones, they track what you do even more. So like when I was watching the Apple keynote, it seemed like a lot of the emphasis was on like tracking technology, so stuff to monitor your sleep patterns, stuff to monitor like your fitness patterns, stuff to monitor your shopping patterns, so that they could use algorithms to like pump out the most efficient way to do something. Well, it's great. I don't think it's much of a monetary upgrade. Like I wouldn't pay like an extra £400 for the next iPhone just because it tells me the most efficient way for me to go about my day. Like I say, normally it's only worth it with like batteries. They might bring out new batteries soon. They're like looking at like a new lithium polymer blend so that battery life can be doubled again. But again, it's all like testing, and it's all about making it small enough to fit in a phone. So I mean, I'd probably say just you can go cheaper on phones these days. It's like with OnePlus. I swear by OnePlus because they're a cheap phone, but they get their technology packed into it because I think some companies sell like they're just selling the name. You know, I've always been a big supporter of like, you know, my feelings towards certain companies about, you know, what they sell and all that. I think as technology gets cheaper, people need to kind of get away from the whole buying because of brand name sort of thing. And again, you know, people have certain problems with like like Chinese products. Again, what's like it's all made in China anyway, so you might as well just like spend less money for decent tech. Like I say, if you were to upgrade, I'd say get a OnePlus phone. A, because they've got a sniper right now pointed at me. B, because you know you get a decent phone for like a relatively good cost. So this video is not sponsored by OnePlus.
Jake is though. Yeah, I think for me, I've got like friends and relatives who buy just the latest stuff because it is just said. Because it is the latest, and I think that's the most prevalent reason for people do buy anything. Where you get new cars, new thing, new news, because that's the key word. It's new. I think for me at the minute, I'm just going through utility. Which is what I'm looking at, because I don't particularly care about cosmetics. I just want ease of use and efficiency more than else at the minute.
I think that's why, like, I mean, when I was at my old job, I think people would say I knew my job well, but it made me like worse off for it because it was like more based around sales, but because it's technology, you want to make sure that you're offering people like the best utility. There's someone come in and said they want like the latest iPhone with all the bells and whistles, and I said to them, "What do you use it for?" And they go, "I just text people." I'd be like, well, why would you put yourself into like, you know, £1,200 debt just that you can text?
Yeah.
Whereas if you're a professional photographer who would run their business using their phone, you want to use the triple camera system, you want to use the zoom and the ultra wide, you want to be able to sync it all between all your, if you've got like an Apple ecosystem as well, then it makes more sense. You've got the utility there to work cross-platform. And I think the utility is where the value is. But like you say, people just sort of see new and they just want like the latest flashiest thing, and they go for that.
Yeah.
But I mean, most of the time I would try and talk them out of it and be like, well, we have this, which does all the same stuff, and it's half the price. It's different with Apple because if you want an Apple product, like, you haven't really got an alternative. You've got Apple and that's it. Whereas if you go on the Android section, you have
you've got endless brands.
But even then, like with Samsung stuff, I must admit, I did like the new Samsung phones that came out.
Which is the latest one?
It was the, oh god, I can't remember now. 7, 8, 9, 10. Was it the?
Because I got
S11.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Because I got the 10 in October, and then the 20 came out in January.
That's it.
January, February, something like that.
Yeah, because we closed just before the new phone, but we got to like I think we got a demo version in, so we got to play with them for a bit. And like they were good phones. But again, when I looked at like, you know, other stuff, like Huawei and OnePlus and all that, the utility is there. It's just less the price. It's just people want to have that brand name. Yeah,
and as you touched on earlier, with the whatever it is, whatever basis and truth it is, there's the whole China espionage fear about it.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure there is a basis and truth to it. It's just how far you take it, and obviously, well, they're going to give a shit about what you're doing.
Yeah.
Their backdoor shit is only built in so they can get into NATO. They don't give a fuck about what you're looking at.
No, I mean, like I say, unless you've got something to hide or you've got access to something.
Yeah, unless you're in NATO, then fair enough. But otherwise, whatever.
I mean, the other thing is, like, you know, they might say your data, but then everyone does it these days, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, that's the thing. Like every app. Like I remember the days when you could get like Plague on your phone, and it would just be download, play. Whereas now, download, accept, log in, sign in, and then play, and you're like, and then guarantee it has to be guaranteed internet connection, and you're like, why?
Because they license it, so basically every time you log in, they have to run the license, so you can't play offline.
See.
So yeah, it's not just that a lot of games use servers, so like.
Yeah,
say like I got the Simpsons game where you've like
RuneScape came out with a mobile one 2 years ago.
Yeah, obviously you need access to the servers because it's an online game.
I don't care what anyone says, was stunning.
What RuneScape?
Mate, the old school servers, but they translated to mobile.
They were so expensive. That's the only reason why I didn't go back to it. It was so expensive per month. So like it was like £10 a month just to.
Yeah.
Saying that I play World of Warcraft again, so I mean.
Yeah, well, I remember when membership was like £3.
Yeah, back in the day.
Mate, that was so good.
I mean, I'd understand because it goes running the old services costs a bit of money, but
well, I had a look and how do you pronounce it? Jagex, whatever.
Euro.
They made in 2018. They made 70 million.
Nostalgia.
That's a lot of people. Exactly. That's a lot of people playing that.
Yeah.
A lot of people, or even not even playing. That's a lot of people subscribing to it.
Yeah.
Fair play. They killed it.
But like you say with gaming, like gaming's probably the other facet where like, I guess where mobiles move into next. Like the tech available now is great, but I think once they bring in the 5G infrastructure, apparently it's meant to completely change the face of gaming because you have access to like those high speeds. Again, the network cards in the phones will be able to handle those high speeds, so you'll be able to have like proper real time, gaming experiences. You know, they're saying you could be able to like play a whole tournament of COD in the middle of town because it will be able to support that network of streaming.
To do it. Yeah, I think the downside to that, the reason I don't like gaming on my phone for those sort of games is because I don't like touching the screen like that. Whereas I like what you did in Stick Form, where you got the emulator and you just plugged your PS4 controller straight into your tablet. Yeah, awesome.
You can even, you can buy like the accessories as well. So basically, what they do is, like how mobile screens work is like conductive, so it uses like the so it runs off like
it's a magnetic field you're talking about.
So I can't remember what they're called. So like conductive screens basically. So they sense the charge in your hands to like determine where you're pressing on the screen. But you can just buy like controllers now. So what you do is you either plug it into your phone and it feeds in that way, or it like has little like 3D printed thumb things that go onto the screen where the where the touchpad
so you wouldn't be touching the screen, but they translate onto the screen.
Basically,
fair play. Yeah, that's quite cool. Yeah, fair enough.
So you've got that, or you've got the other option where you do the same thing. You just do Bluetooth, but it like plugs into the top, so you just connect to via Bluetooth. You have like a mapping software on your phone, does the same thing. Because people use it for like, obviously you've got the COD mobile game, you've got Fortnite on, absolutely Fortnite.
Class now Fortnite, PUBG, Warzone,
There's Free Fire as well, just like the Chinese equivalent of.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's quite popular because I think it's more free or more available for people.
Okay. Warzone's quite fun.
Yeah. What else is there? But then you've also got like all the card games as well. It's like Hearthstone and.
Did you say card or car?
Card games.
What?
So like. You remember Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yeah.
So you've got like versions of that, but no versions for like.
I haven't seen that. Fair play. That's quite a good move, actually. I like that. Obviously, it's 10 years too late for us, but that's quite good. 12 years too late for us, but that's quite a good move.
Yeah. Well, Hearthstone like took up so much of my time at university because you just had on your phone, so you could play a quick match. A quick match became 10 matches. 10 matches became half a day. Until Tabs was like, right, we're going out now.
Until Tabs smacked it out of your hand.
But yeah, like I say, I think it was also like with how PC games go and mobile's trying to match that because there's such a massive market for it, and like it's so easy to like spin up a mobile game. You know, there's like mobile versions of everything these days. What was the latest one? It's gone, never mind.
You're right, because it's weird, because it seems like people have drawn awareness to the fact how much time we spend on our phones like 3 years ago, and it's just got, I don't know about more, I think maybe because like our friends aren't those people to spend all their time on their games when they're with other people, but it seems to just the consistency seems to have stayed the same. Actually, it hasn't decreased, but it hasn't increased. Like, more to your point earlier about how there's slowing down in the phone development and the evolution of the phone tech. Like, but it doesn't seem like there's an increase in people on their phones. But I don't know. It's hard to say at the minute because obviously I'm seeing less people.
I think what would we do right now if we didn't have mobile phones? Like, you know, people always complained about it, but I don't understand what was so bad about people. I mean, if you like, I don't like TikTok. I hate TikTok. So if like, you know, if I'm walking down the street and we're on the beach, and I can't get past someone because they're like, trying to do some crazy cartwheels across the beach or in the park or whatever, I'm like, but there's nothing wrong with me like keeping in contact with you guys, or you know, calling my family, or I don't know, playing a game on my phone. It's like, what would you do before? Like if I say I'm away, so when we used to like meet in town, you know, you get somewhere, you're gonna be like 10 minutes late. So what do? You stand there looking like a lemon, or I just whip my phone out and I don't know, do something else. Like you can read the news, listen to a podcast. There are some detraction to it. Like I would say, you know, because of social media, you've got all these groups of people that maybe have like crazy ideas, but there's always good and bad and pitfalls and whatnot. I mean, I think at the end of the day, as long as people don't forget to eat and sleep and let their phones control them, I don't think there's a problem with it.
I think you said the key two words there is social media, because those are the worst things to be doing on your phone.
Yeah, probably.
Because listening to a podcast, playing a game, reading a book, it's using we're coming, you know. It's using your phone as a technology and a tool that it was designed for, as opposed to the addiction we didn't realise it was going to be. Sorry, because I've definitely said that before. But that's I think that's the key point to it, is that if you are, because I'm the same. I mean, my podcast library on my phone takes up literally 30 gigs of data because I've just downloaded it all, so I've got them there if I need it. I do the same thing with books. I've got iBooks and then Kindle on my phone.
Yeah, exactly.
So I've got hundreds of books.
Plus films as well. Plus
films less so. I find myself watching stuff less, listening way more and reading more. I've made an effort to read more because I remember like from primary school through sixth form, I was just devouring books all the time, and that kind of dropped off after I moved out of my folks the first time. So I'll just kind of like rebuild it again and get reading again, because it's just so damn good for you.
Exactly, you can do that, and like you said, use your phone to film this. So I mean, that's the other problem, is like how much more stuff you cram into a mobile phone. I think you're getting to the point now where you've got like zoom cameras, you've got ultra wide cameras, you've got augmented reality. You can do VR as well if you've got the appropriate headset to go with it. It's like, how do you cram more and more stuff into a mobile phone when it's already kind of starting to reach capacity, and how much you can fit into that size? Yeah,
well, that's why they keep them to do bigger and bigger storage options, because the operating system takes so much more space.
Like the folding ones as well. You know, the folding ones you can fit more into them.
It's interesting watching the progression with them, because they've been trialled for years, but there's always a problem, so they just have to keep delaying and redoing it, which makes sense, because that's a tricky thing to do, whether it's the bendy one or the snap, the actual flip phone that has a touchscreen.
I like the bendy.
Bendy's quite cool.
Yeah, the OLED ones where they like wrap it, you can like snap it around your hand and that's why I'm always a sucker for gimmicky jet tech. Like when they brought out the new you know, they brought out the Motorola Razr, but they rehashed that. You know, it didn't look great, and it wasn't like, you know, game changing tech. But for nostalgia's sake.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I had the Razr. Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
the Razr or the. Because I remember those Airlon Motor adverts. Yes. It was the Razr or something else. I can't remember what it was. I think I had the other one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. I guess it depends what it is, because some people are deliberately buying flip phones. They're like old button only ones, so you can text and call, and that's it.
Yeah. I found my old Nokia the other day.
Did you?
Yeah, that one I bought just for university because my Samsung got drowned at a festival.
Nice.
But I forgot the charger, and the battery lasted me a whole week.
Yeah.
So my mum set the charger down. She said it won't be there for a week, and I was like, oh crap. So I just made sure I had the phone on and off when I needed it, and it lasted a good 5 days. We still had 20% charge left on it. So
well, this is, I was going to talk to you about this on Monday. This is a little toy I got recently. This is my Whoop strap, and basically this is the like you're talking about with the new operating system for some phones about the tracking your health, the fitness, all sorts of stuff. That's on here.
Okay.
So there's no screen to it, and the battery lasts 8 days.
Decent.
But it tracks my sleep, my recovery, my exercise. It will then tell me, you know, and then it asks me that question when you wake up, like, did you drink? Did you have caffeine, alcohol? Did you sleep? What time did you fall asleep? Did you read beforehand? Were you looking at TV before bed? That sort of stuff. And then it gives you like a graph over time, and it says when you wake up in the morning, it says, okay, this is how you slept, and this is how you recovered from the previous day. Based on that, this is then how you should exercise.
Okay,
that's really cool, actually. It's really, really cool. It's really, really interesting.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I'm not like against. I think tracking technology is really, you know, has some really good applications. I think most people don't want tracked is like, it's not so much tracking; it's more having the data sent out. I think people don't want lots of the data sent around to people, but like tracking yourself is, you know, it's got so many applications to it. I mean, I was going to get a smartwatch myself, but in the end I went for the classic Casio. Cause
what, the £9.99 job, yeah?
$7.99. The F91W,
yeah. Mate, they're timeless. They're good watches. So it's a watch, you know?
But I mean, like, my phone does it anyway, so I can still track stuff on my phone. Like, you know, you go for a run, you just use, what's it called? Well, the running app.
Yeah, you just do it afterwards, or like you just leave it wherever.
Yeah, same with sleep. You know, you can track sleep, and like I say, it's got good applications to it. It's just I don't think it's worth paying for that extra like software. I think that's where like, a lot of companies are trying to justify the upgrading costs in the next models, where I think they'll be mostly the same. Eventually, we'll probably have holograms. You know, where you put your phone down and it just goes.
That would be sick.
That would be cool.
That would be very cool.
But again, will it be gimmicky? Will it not be gimmicky?
Yeah, it's where it's trying, because it's the whole drive of technology and progression is efficiency, because there's no other raison d'etre for the machine than efficiency, which I guess is what you're doing. Where if it stops being like that, then you're like, okay, we're doing something wrong then. Yeah,
and it's also like, you know, trying to like say efficient, like make your life more efficient. It's like with Tesla. We were talking about Teslas earlier, and you know they can tell you which supercharging bays are available as you're going on your journey. But also, not being it's efficient, it kind of brings back the old style road trip where you stop off somewhere to get a meal because you're waiting for your car to charge. So it's like comfort, it's the efficiency, it's the, you know, making something that I guess most people hate, which is a long road trip, like enjoyable again. I mean, there's obviously some instances where Teslas have gone like, you know, don't watch Harry Potter, you know, don't watch a film while you're in the car.
Yeah.
But you know, I think there's really good applications to it. I mean, I want a Tesla. You know, that's definitely like where I would like to go at some point, is get a Tesla. But again, it's time, money. I could just put an iPad in my car once I get it in. Say it's a Tesla.
Or just tape it in.
Yeah.
Tape it over the gearbox.
Just close my eyes and pray that I get to my destination on time.
Just get an automatic, mate, and you've got or what you could do is you could get one of those disability is the wrong word, but you get some of those cars where you've got it modified specifically for a physical impairment. So that means you don't, like, say you've had like an arm amputated or something. You've got the gears aren't here; they're all on the right hand stick to it. They move all the lights and the indicators and everything over there. Just get that, mate. Then you've got nothing in the middle.
True, but I like the thing that I like driving. Like,
yeah,
you know,
physically doing it.
Physically doing it.
Yeah, it's
like,
awesome.
You know, that's what I mean. Like, an automatic would be easier, but it's something it's satisfying. You know, between going through the gears and having the handbrake on and like, yeah.
Ideally, you can get my last car that I didn't know, the one company car I had was a 2016 Mini, and that had it was a manual, but you could switch it to automatic, but on using just the grips on the steering wheel. So you could then, as a left on the left trackpad, you could then change the speed just by pressing up and down, and the car would change speed.
Okay.
And then you could also below that you could put a restriction on your speed, or just you could modify it so it knew where you were in the time zone, so it would just do the speed of the time zones.
Okay.
Which is quite cool, but it also meant that you could, if need be, you could just instantly take over control again. So you could either do that, take your feet off the pedal and just cruise, or you can just obviously manually change it and it knows you're doing it, so it switches everything back to manual.
Okay.
So that's quite cool.
That's pretty handy.
Yeah, it's a cool little feature.
The only downside is like because the car will have to be older, it will have like so like tabs has like cruise control, which you can set the speed. So
yeah,
it makes going on the motorway so much easier.
Oh, tell me about
it. You know, you haven't got to have your foot down on the pedal all the time. Whereas before, once you had the old car, you had to have your foot down the entire way. And I mean, I do like 2-hour driving sessions at a time, and normally like it's going. And I've done the long ones on dual carriageway between point A and point B. And I do find like being on the motor for like 25 minutes with your foot like pressed all the way down can get a bit tedious. I mean, I don't even know how you would do it for like a 6-hour.
Oh mate,
my mum's done that before, and especially I felt bad like having gone to university so far down the country. But oh god, I need to stop sitting away from that.
No, you go. It's fine. You just move the arm.
Yeah,
you just move it. If you want to get more comfortable, move the arm, man. It's fine.
Yeah. But yeah,
well, it's like when we went to Falmouth camping. Like, with the old shitty 1994 Daewoo, I had my foot flat to the like pedals to the metal kind of shit, and it was just the whole way there. And I did 70.
If you were lucky. And there were some big hills like getting in and out of Cornwall.
Mate, it was a shit car, but that thing was bulletproof. That I did it. I know a different car. I was gonna say I went to when I took Richard to Plymouth as an open day, but I did that in the Clio after that. But again, that was 2004, and that was fine. There and back.
Just need to get your point A to point B.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and safely, and you're all good.
Yeah. What? So I know obviously with the Tesla you can have the big central panel is you can have like maps, or you can have like YouTube on it or something.
Yeah, I think they have to add and take away apps based on like how dangerous they are. So like
the person,
I guess distraction wise. So I'm not sure what it currently is at the moment, but they're normally adding and taking away apps. The same when you can get like similar dashboard systems, so like sort of tablets built into your dashboard and all that.
Yeah.
And usually the apps they add and take away based on like where the company feels they're safe to have in a car. So I'm not sure what like Tesla currently has on there, like their tablets, but they usually have like Waze and Spotify and I guess Google Maps and all the useful. I mean, I think Google Maps is probably one of the most useful because sat nav's great, but Google Maps can tell you like traffic, you know how traffic is.
Well, it's the most up to date and in real time out of all of them. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you've ever heard of it. There was a funny story actually, or a couple of stories where people put loads of cheap Android phones into like a little cart and they wheel it around a city, and Google Maps will ping off those phones, and it makes it look like there's a high density of vehicles down that street.
Oh, just because it's the individual items.
Yeah, so it was like rerouting people around what was deemed a traffic.
That's very clever.
Because it was a good example of like again how companies track, you know, how the data that is really useful is actually like coming from the company using your mobile phone as like as a ping device to sample how bad the traffic is in an area. So it's quite clever actually.
That's very clever.
It's useful when you need it.
It's also useful if you don't want to have any traffic, because people just people following their Google Maps will just get out of the way because
That's
they
the
go
thing, yeah.
somewhere else.
That's the thing. People were like driving down the road that was meant to be full of traffic, and it was just there was no one there.
One car, yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, but we've used it loads of times. Like when we've gone to Plymouth and there's been like a traffic jam or an accident, then it will detour you off the next exit, and then you go through the countryside to get to. I mean, everyone else does it as well, but you get there quicker than if you're sitting in traffic for the next hour or so. So yeah, I mean, like I say, technology's got its benefits.
Yeah, I think it's just making sure that it's the awareness that we need to have of the potential potential of technology and what we're using it for, as opposed to get suckered in by consumerism, because that's the number one danger to it, is that they're just going to make us spend more money that we don't need to spend. Like if we're buying it for certain stuff, like if we for Tab starting her new business, for me doing this, we're using it for a design and creative purpose. That makes sense. But if you're buying it just because it's new and just because the advert keeps coming up, that's a problem. And you're buying it because it's repetitive advertising. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, another good example is like my headphones broke, so I wanted a new pair of headphones, but I wanted like proper those truly wireless ones, and I've been up like a pair of Sony ones I wanted for ages. They were like £150 odd, and I was like, that is too much. Yeah. So I did research and found a decent pair of £50, and they work brilliantly since. But like, that's what I mean. Like, I think I wanted the Sony ones because they were like branded as like, you know, they're Sony. They're still really good. I want a pair like down the line, but like justification for the time and the need was just like cheaper ones. And then if they break, they break. Because I spent so much money on headphones in the past. My headphones used to last like a week because I'd walk out the house and I'd like snag it on the door, and you know, like they'd rip out, the jacks would rip out, or like you catch it and then like the wire would break internally, the kind of thing. I think the best bit, I had a few that have lasted like 6 months, but even then, like they just eventually go, and you don't want to spend like £200 on something and then it just
it's not worth it.
Breaks down the line. So I think sometimes you also have to think about like how durable something you buy is. Like, yeah, you could buy something expensive, but is it gonna, like, not naming names, you know, particular brand, what would be a good, just trying to think, Head Sweets, there we go.
Head Sweets,
that would be a good alternative name for them.
Alright, yeah.
Hopefully most people can discern what I'm talking about.
Oh, well, I haven't got a clue, it'll occur to me later on.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, it's just, do you need to spend that money? Do you need it? If you do, get it. If you don't get it.
Well, it comes back to a discipline issue that way. But well, there's a question I'll pose: is it a discipline issue for people to not be able to compulsively spend stuff, or is it that advertising and marketing has got so damn good that the big name stuff don't even need, the hard sell is dead because they don't need to, because the advertising is just so good. So you don't need to have some idiot calling you up out of the blue saying you should get this, effectively, or some idiot in a store trying to force you or persuade you to buy something, because advertising is so good now. They don't need to do it because themselves, they're just there as a service capacity.
It's probably a combination of both, really. Like, there are times when I like get targeted ads and it keeps happening, and you like ignore it, but then you just end up on the website. Like, you either get targeted for like headphones, or what was the one I got the other day?
What's that? Oh. Let's pick up everything.
Okay with this?
Yeah, thank you.
Soundproof Studio is definitely on the list.
But anyway, like
Headphones.
we were looking at something, and yeah, just we'd been talking about it, and an advert came up for it. Actually, a funny story was, I was on Discord to a mate of mine, and we wanted to test it for ourselves. So we just said dildo over and over and over again, and then like a week later, it was like he got advertisements for massager ones and all that.
It's gotta be done.
You know, it works. You know, it's there. But yeah, like,
yeah, that's what you're into, Jake. Nothing to be ashamed of.
The targeted ad stuff works. But as I say, like, also when people come into store, you know, it's just, if you're a salesman, that's your job. You know, you got to sell the product. But sometimes the best way to sell is just to, like, you know, you be honest with people and be like, do you really need this? If they wanted it, great. Like,
no, yeah, it's not. Sometimes it is the best way to sell. I think just because now again, because of technology and because of the advancements in people able to, in connectivity, be able to review recommendations, public opinion is much more readily discussed and available for certain things. If you do something wrong or you sell the wrong thing to the wrong person, they will let everyone know. Everyone know. And even and Google review is the best and worst place for any business.
Yeah.
Because if you get enough, not even enough, if you get 10 reviews of the people who have bothered to do a good review for it, 2 people are more likely to do right bad for you than a good for you, and that will tank your status and your let's see how good your service has been ranked.
Yeah, we used to have it all the time. And most of the time, our bad reviews were due to people having bad phone experiences. It's not even with us, though. With other teams. They
just find, or they come in a bad mood, or they have, they're just frustrated with the phone and they take it out on something else.
Yeah. Before we close, I asked to be put more charge of marketing stuff, so I was trying to go down that path or whatever. The boss was like, yeah, okay. So one of the ideas was to make sure we get Google reviews out there more. But there were times you had customers who had an amazing experience that you got on the phone they wanted, you had a good chat with them. You'd be like, oh, if you could do a favour, just leave us a good review or whatever, and it would never happen.
Yeah.
But then you'd have people that have an absolutely bad time, and not even with us, maybe an installation experience or just some completely not to the store, and a week later you just see a bad review pop up saying 1 star, do not go there.
Wrecked.
Yeah, and then obviously other people don't want to go there, and it brings. I mean, I always check Google. If we're going to a new restaurant, I always check Google review.
Interesting. Okay, yeah. See there. Yeah,
it's just how I am. I'm just
It makes sense though, because if you don't want, if in the past it would be a roll of the dice whether it be any good or not.
Yeah.
Whereas now you can I can actually stack the odds in my favour if it's going to be good or not.
But if you actually read most reviews, you see that a lot of the time it's to do with stuff that is not even anything to do with So it might be a delivery problem. So the food might be amazing at that place, but their delivery might have just not been very good.
And normally, same with us, because we don't have, and most companies, they don't have their own delivery system. They outsource to DPD or Hermes.
Yeah.
And they're shit. We all know they're shit.
Well, it's I had to wait 15 minutes for my food. It's it should be done in 10. It's well, that's a stupid thing to. But you get a 1-star review for it, regardless of whether you agree with it or not. The only way to combat it is obviously to try and talk to people about it, reply to reviews. But even then, it's the problem is especially for small companies and all that. But back to the best part was always doing the troubleshooting things with people. So people come in they have a problem with their phone. You'd have it 5 minutes. You just go, and then it worked. Because how people amazed people used to be
they wouldn't know. Yeah.
Absolute wizardry.
Yeah.
That wasn't the main part of the job, but it was the best part of doing it because people. I mean that's the other thing. It was both good and bad because I think the other thing is a lot of people want new tech, but they don't want to know how to use it. So they want a new printer or a wireless printer, or they want the latest phone, but they don't know how to use it, and they only use it for the most basic things. So the other flip side of with phones and upgrades is you need to make sure that there's always a supply for people that don't need the whole package, because otherwise they just don't know how to use it. Again, if you're I don't know, again, it's not generalizing, but you're 80 years old and you just need your phone so you can contact people when you need to contact them. You don't need a £1,200 iPhone. But it's really hard to get hold of another phone that, a cheaper phone that just does that well. You can still get burner phones and all that, but even then, sometimes they want to use Facebook. So they want a combination of how to use Facebook. So then it's but not something that's too complicated. But you just can't. There's just no in between. Normally you'd suggest one of the phones that's designed for people that want less. But what was it? We used to do something called a Doro, which is this really tiny little smartphone kind of thing. It was absolutely terrible, but it was designed to be the combination phone for people that didn't want a lot but they wanted something that was cheap.
Fair enough.
And it was just awful. It was not clown phone. I don't know how to describe it. But yeah, I don't know. I think I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling now, really.
No, I mean, again, it's with this format, everything's just going to happen because we're just having a conversation, so we're all going to go down these different tangents. But one of the ones I wanted to go back to was it's like the hard sell shit's gone, and everything is primarily, especially in this country, it's primarily a service based, because it's all about how to help and what you can direct and everything and the right advice. Because like for what I do for work, I'm trying to think if I've ever had to persuade someone to buy something. Probably when I started off, I wasn't very good, but certainly in the last 3 years, I've never persuaded anyone, because it's you're all about finding out what their needs are and just meeting the criteria for what they're after. Because if you haven't got it what they want, if you then sell them something, they're going to bring it back and they're going to be pissed off that you sold them something. And then they're going to make as we just said, they're going to make a big fucking stink out of it. So it's just, companies can't afford that anymore. So it's all about advice, like Apple, any Apple store. And this is partly why they, for example, don't get commission for them, is because they don't care about sales, because it's all about the experience and service in the store, because they put so much into the aesthetics and the advertising and the marketing and the brand image and the whole experience that they want people to be paying for, or feel like they are getting their value for money in the experience, not in this is what not people trying to shove stuff out the door, because they've nailed the appeal to it. They don't need to. It just sells them. It just sells itself.
But you're fighting the online channel as well. The thing is, online, again, we had that problem. Like, we were always fighting online and telephones. It's with most places. Like, if you're in a retail store, you have to fight your online channel.
Yes.
And I think that's where
your own online fucking channel.
Yeah, and that's where a lot of places struggle. Like, you think, if I don't get the sale, then obviously they're going to go online, and it is frustrating. When you help a customer, it's like if I came into your store, you gave me all the suggestions, you were really polite, you were like, oh, this is great, and then they came back and they go, oh yeah, I bought this online
because it was cheaper.
But now I need you to, like, I don't know,
change this, do
that.
Yeah.
So then you get zero sale for your store itself, but now you have to do all the legwork to. So on paper, you've done nothing, but in the matter of fact, you've actually done.
I've done everything.
You've done everything for the customer,
and it happens every single week. And frequently, when they leave the store, we're actually at a loss, because if we have to do an exchange, we have to match that price, which means we're giving the value of our stock to them at a lower price than we sell it to anyone who walked off the store off the street. So it's actually a detriment to ourselves. So we're fighting ourselves, which is batshit crazy.
But people think, like, why the retailers, like, why, like, the death of the high street? But it's because and even if you're doing well in your retail store, you're always going to be at a loss to online, because don't have the overhead of the store itself. Don't have the overhead of your staff. Don't have the overhead of cost of shipping and maintaining warehouses to deploy to your shops. If you've got online, you've only got the overhead of maintaining the website
and the warehouse,
and then your head office.
Delivery, depending how you do it, could be very minimal.
But even that could be for a third-party service, so it's still,
which then doesn't cost you anything because the customer pays for it.
Yeah, exactly. Because you get that option when you pay for it. Like, well, you either get standard delivery, which could be for Royal Mail, or you pay the extra to get it done get a special shipping with another company. So it's kind of hard to fight there. I mean, that's probably why I'm trying to jump ship on retail now, because it's either go back to supermarket or, like, work in maybe a shop that's not. It'll be supermarket or bust, really, because that supermarket's never going to go. Don't really want to do that, but it's tough when you're settled and then everything changes again. But you don't know, because retail's such a volatile.
There's no security, and unless you're unless you're Apple, unless you're Boots, unless you're, I don't know, at the minute Sunglass Hut is like, because the stores that are doing the most in my shopping centre in the minute is Boots, because they haven't shut throughout the whole thing. Holland and Barrett, Sunglass Hut, perfume places. They're doing the most amount of money like that. And estate agency. Every single mate of mine is an estate agent. They're saying, I've never seen anything like this. Be it buying, selling, renting, letting out, whatever they're doing, everything is just insane. They've had to hire loads more people just because it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, but that's the same. Like, it's just absolutely mad at the moment because it's either prices have gone down.
Yeah, and people have jumped on it, or
it.
It's the stamp duty holiday.
Yeah, also like a lot of Help to Buy have matured as well, so obviously people can use that as well.
Big one.
So yeah, it is a good time to do it, but you know, again, it's still expensive to do, and you know, but I mean, at least it's not all like doom and gloom for every industry.
No, it's if you listen to the news, it's all doom and gloom. It's all bullshit about how I'm going mad. I don't know what to do. I'm doing this. I started doing this because I started doing this over lockdown because it helped my sanity, and I wanted to show people that I know that we are still here and we are still talking, and you can be part of the conversation even if you're not physically here with us. And a lot of people that I've spoken to, a lot of my mates, I've got people. They've taken this opportunity and they grabbed it by the fucking balls. And now I've got people gardening. I've got a guy at work has set up his own. He's got his own business that he started, which has huge potential. I'll tell you what it is after because it's really cool. He got Tab's got her stuff from there. There's loads of other people doing loads of projects, and I think that this is awesome. And I think it's awesome. I don't know if this is across the board with people doing it, or maybe I'm just really fortunate for that. The people around me are the kind of people who are going to do that, and it's cool. It's really cool. It's awesome.
I think it's the best time to take part of the opportunity as well.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so as I found out I was losing my job, like this was before COVID, like it was like what to do next. And like I said when we were at the pub the other night, like my degree is like absolutely not. I've tried, I've applied to so many jobs in the role that they suggest for you to do your degree. It's not so much that it hasn't really cropped up, it's just that I think like the field itself is A, scarce, there's usually only one person doing it in a business.
Yeah.
And B, normally you've got to be a certain kind of person. And I won't say I'm like a pessimistic, cynical. Actually, I'm a pessimistic, cynical person. But like, you got to be very in people's faces.
Yeah.
And it's not something like I'm really, I don't like to be in people's faces. Even my old job, it's a case of if you need help, I'll be. If you respond well to the help, then I would talk your head off. If you didn't, I'd just leave you alone or shrink down.
No,
that's
the right move.
That's the right move. So yeah, so it's like, well, what to do next? And the thing I really like I said, the thing I liked about my old job was doing the troubleshooting. Helping people out with their like tech problems. Because there's always been like, like that sort of dedicated tech guy of your household or whatever. So yeah, like I thought we'll just do IT. So that's what I've been doing, is studying to do my it's called a CompTIA exam, or CompTIA, and they're like a big industry. They're like the main computer industry body in America, and they do like certification, and basically you get set up in there, and it's the equivalent of like doing degree level IT. It's different caveats because like I could have chosen to do a course, but I decided to self-study because it's cheaper. So yeah, I've got that exam next Friday. I should really be revising for it. I shouldn't really be like
here.
Yeah. But yeah, like that's the next step. But it's
don't worry, mate. By the time this is aired, you've already passed. Don't worry about it.
But it's like, yeah, but that's kept me sane for like the last couple, because I've had studying every day. There's so much material to get through.
Yeah.
It covers all the hardware stuff. It covers all the troubleshooting stuff. But I think that's what's been good about lockdown is most people have realised what they want to do. I've had this conversation with Dad loads of times. I think a lot of people, it's giving people a chance to reflect and think, right, the world's been turned upside down. Is this the time for you to try and do what you want to do, or do you keep trying to go down the road that you're currently going down?
Yeah.
I remember you were telling me about what you were doing as well. But it seems like a lot of people have taken lockdown by the horns and really made something out of it. And I think more people have stepped out of it positive than negative. There's still a negativity about having to cancel events like weddings and birthday parties and all that, and holidays. But I think maybe like one or two people have kind of just taken the time to chill, but I think most people have done something proactive and have come out at the other end of it having like a new skill, having decided to do a career change, having decided to just do something that's positive and proactive. And it's really encouraging because it means that
Yeah.
you feel more inspired to carry on what you don't feel like you've just taken up something because you just don't want to go crazy. You feel like you've followed what everyone else has done, and it's just really cool. Like I say, Tabs, what she's been doing has been amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And seeing that progress over like the last 3 or 4 months, going from point A to where we are now, it's amazing. And I think it's been nice when you talk to people that they've shared the same experiences. And like I say, when listening to your podcast, most people I know have done it.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of cool to see where people go from there, like where everyone's going to be like this time next year. I think most people are going to be fairly good.
And it's just with this now is that just make sure you don't listen to the bullshit that they're feeding us, and just get out and about. If you get out and about as you go into town, like you've seen, you're like, oh, it's just a normal day.
It's just normal. Most people
just doing their shit. You're like, oh, cool.
Yeah, because that's why I think everyone was during lockdown. Was everyone was really like, the fear of God had been like instilled with them, and they were like, if I go outside, I'm gonna die. I think people should still be careful. Don't go nuts or whatever. But it's just more of a case of, I think people were scared they step outside your door and the world was going to be in absolute disarray.
Yeah.
But then you finally go into town.
It wasn't. You're like, oh.
Yeah, the first few times I went out shopping with Tabs after lockdown had been lifted, I was really nervous because I was like, what is it like? And we went shopping before masks were imposed, so we were in masks.
Yeah.
And a lot of people weren't. So you kind of felt really like the odd one out kind of thing. But now everyone's wearing them. Everyone still wears masks, and it can be a bit irritating, but it doesn't feel different.
Any excuse I get not to wear it. Fuck it.
But like, the only difference is you've got one-way systems in place, and sometimes it's a bit annoying trying to get somewhere and someone's standing in the way of you. But I follow the one-way system where I can, but the times you just like get out of my way, I just go.
Yeah, most people are pretty chill.
Yeah.
Right, so it's cool.
Yeah, like I say, more people have had positive experiences coming out of COVID than negative, and I think it's really cool to see. And I think if they impose restrictions again, I don't think anyone's going to be unhappy. I think people will just keep tracking on what they've been doing so far. Like I say, most people seem to be. There are people that are still out of the country. There are people that just do the normal things they used to do. Yeah. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Mate, I think that's a good positive spin to end on there.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, nice uplifting rather than
absolutely
the doom and gloom of open carry weapons.
Yeah, exactly. Well, open carry weapons. There we are. Lovely. Cool.
Right.
Thank you very much, mate.
You're welcome. Yes. Look forward to seeing this whenever you release it. Yeah,
a couple of weeks' time, we'll sort it out.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks very much, everyone.
Do you not have a sign off? You need a sign off.
Okay, well you can add this. This should be the sign off actually. There you go. Pull it. Go on. And you need to do like a cool warriors pose and point it at the camera or something. Or
no.
All right, that's it then. There we go.
You need to be like.
What do we need to do as a sign off? What are you talking about?
You need to be like. This is harping on, harping off.
All right. This is harping on, harping off.
TM.
Yeah. To be fair, cheers. To be fair, I do need to get something like a trademark put in somewhere or other.
How long are we going for?
That
was pretty good actually.
Hour and a half.
About what I was aiming for.
Yeah.
So cool. That's good.
Oh man. How you doing, Sabs? You bored?
No, I've been.
I need to use your loo.
Yeah, myself, mate.
It was nice to listen to you guys, but I did switch off in the middle.
That's fair enough. What were you doing on your pad then?
So yeah, I don't really know.